Close your eyes for a moment. Not because this is scary, but because this story begins in silence. No engines, no cities, no humans, only heat. Thick, suffocating heat rising from a prehistoric jungle that never cools. The air is heavy, every breath feels wet. The ground beneath your feet trembles, not from footsteps, but from something moving, slowly, deliberately, unseen. You hear water ripple, then stop. Something massive has entered the swamp. And in this world, the biggest predator is not a dinosaur. It is not a clawed monster with teeth. It is a snake. A snake so large, so powerful, that even crocodiles were not safe. This is the story of Titanoboa, the largest snake that ever lived. And once you understand what it was, you'll realize something unsettling. Earth itself made this creature possible.
Most people think monsters disappeared with the dinosaurs. They're wrong. 66 million years ago, an asteroid struck Earth. It wiped out the dinosaurs in fire, darkness, and shockwaves. But extinction doesn't mean emptiness. When the dust finally settled, the world was quiet again. And in that quiet, something else began to rise. This was the Paleocene epoch, a time after dinosaurs, before humans. A time when mammals were still small and fragile, a time when reptiles ruled again. The planet was hotter than today, much hotter. No polar ice caps, no cool seasons. Tropical forests stretched across the globe, thick, dense, alive. And in these forests, rivers moved slowly, like dark veins across the land. This is where Titanoboa lived, not as a monster from nightmares, but as a perfect product of its environment. In 2009, deep in a coal mine in Colombia, scientists found something strange. Not a skull, not teeth, but vertebrae. Huge vertebrae. At first, they thought it belonged to a crocodile, but the shape was wrong. Then they realized something chilling. These bones belonged to a snake. Not just any snake, a snake so massive that scientists had to rewrite what they believed reptiles could become. Piece by piece, they reconstructed it, and what emerged stunned the world. Titanoboa cerrigonensis, over 40 feet long, weighing more than 1,100 kilograms, as long as a city bus, heavier than a small car. This wasn't exaggeration, this was math. The size of the vertebrae told the story, and the story said this: this snake was the apex predator of its world.
We struggle to imagine Titanoboa because nothing alive today compares. Let's try anyway. A modern green anaconda, one of today's largest snakes, reaches about 20 feet. Titanoboa was twice that length. Imagine a snake stretching across 2 full rooms. Imagine its body as thick as a tree trunk. Now imagine that body moving silently through water. No splashing, no warning, just pressure waves. If you were a crocodile in that swamp, you wouldn't see it coming.
Here's where the fear becomes real. Titanoboa didn't use venom. It didn't need it. Like modern boas and pythons, it killed by constriction. But constriction at this scale is different. This wasn't squeezing, this was crushing. Each loop of its body applied pressure stronger than the bite of a great white shark. With every exhale of its prey, Titanoboa tightened. Crocodiles, armored, aggressive, dominant, were not safe. Once caught, escape was impossible. Bones cracked, organs failed, the heart stopped. And then, the snake swallowed its prey whole. Slowly, patiently, because Titanoboa didn't rush. It had all the time in the world. Here's the part that truly matters. Titanoboa was cold-blooded. That means its body temperature depended on the environment. Today, a snake that large couldn't survive. It would be too cold, too slow, too weak. But back then, the Earth itself was warmer by several degrees globally. That extra heat changed everything. It allowed reptiles to grow larger, stronger, more active. Titanoboa wasn't an anomaly, it was proof. Proof that climate shapes biology, and when the planet changes, life responds.
Titanoboa didn't chase. It waited, hidden beneath dark water, blending with fallen trees, motionless, its eyes just above the surface. It could sense vibrations, pressure, movement. One step too close, one ripple, and it struck. Not fast, but unstoppable. This wasn't speed. This was inevitability.
So why did Titanoboa disappear? Not violence, not competition, but cooling. Over millions of years, Earth's climate changed. Temperatures dropped, habitats shifted, rainforests transformed, and Titanoboa lost what made it possible: the heat. Without enough warmth, a body that massive couldn't function, and slowly, the giant faded into extinction.
Let's ask the uncomfortable question. If Titanoboa were alive today, where would it live? Only the hottest, wettest regions on Earth could support it. Even then, human expansion would make survival unlikely. But here's the chilling thought. As Earth warms again, the past may not stay buried forever. Not Titanoboa specifically, but the conditions that made it.
Titanoboa wasn't evil. It wasn't a monster. It was a mirror, a reminder that Earth creates what it needs and destroys what it no longer can support. This snake ruled its world without rage, without cruelty, only instinct. And it reminds us of something humbling. We are not the first rulers of this planet, and we won't be the last, because long before us, the swamp belonged to the snake.